Today I'm preparing my home for winter. We have got snow and we're looking at getting 100 centimeters of snow in the next 3 days, starting tonight. So I thought there's no better time to kind of start doing this stuff. Inside the house is pretty well covered now. I'll go through some of that stuff a bit later, what I've done to stay warm during winter. But first I want to sort out what's happening outside. Before I get started on my place, I'll just show you that in the streets, you can see that these posts have been put up. Now these posts are around, these posts here are almost 4 meters high, and that's to help the snow clearing machines, these tractors and things that are coming around through the streets to understand where the boundaries are of the roads. So it's for safety driving around. Yeah, these things are huge. They kind of concern me. I mean, that's really high up my house. Compare that 4 meter high pole there, made out of bamboo, by the way, which is pretty cool. Well, that's the side of my house. So it's just as tall as these huge trees. And you can see there on the shed, my shed at the back, that window is barricaded up with timber. I actually never touched that. I've just been lazy and just left it as it was as I got here. But you know, that's how high the snow is going to go. Something you have to remember here is, where is all this snow going? Because that's going to come off of my roof from there, land in my garden, and that's where I have to take care of my snow. And then my back, this roof here on the shed at the back, that's going to fall off and pretty much just go straight down behind the shed. But that actually goes onto my neighbor's land. Starting with the garden, I've just started to move some of those bonsai and pot plants that I had. I've just taken them off of those little shelves. This is kind of what's left behind. This is what's left of my bonsai. I gave some away as well. And I've taken some inside and put some at the front. Not sure if they're going to survive through winter, but yeah, I have a limitation for space, how much I can move these into the house. So this is something I'm thinking about now. But yeah, as you can see, I'm yet to put any of these window protection up here, and window protection on this side as well. So you can see that they do have these bars where these pieces of wood just kind of slot in, and they're around the town. This is how these old houses deal with when the snow piles up. So it doesn't drop down from the roof, pile up, and then cave in through the glass, through the window. Most places also have concrete or block or brick on the lower level too. Again, it's for that dampness that's going to be around through the year, plus that weight of the snow. So I'm left with these little concrete cylinders. I'm going to put them up against the wall just to tidy up the garden, and this is actually going to help me prepare for next year as well. So this is a more workable space. Okay, so that's pretty clear, well cleared out. The hydrangeas, they're all pretty much gone. I actually cut a lot of them down, but they already started to grow back really quickly. It's such a hardy plant. This here is a fire hydrant. So this is for fire, and this thing is 3 meters high. Again, this is another one of those unique areas. This is deep, heavy snow country in Japan, and this is one of the ways that they have to deal with fire protection. Why are we talking about fire during these winters when it's minus 20 degrees at night? And it's pretty simple. These houses, they're all built out of firewood. They're ready to go up, my house included. And one of the things that Japan does is they still use kerosene for heating. That's a kerosene tank right there. I've got one as well at my place. And kerosene is the norm. I wanted to put a lot of oil heaters in my house, like radiators to heat the place. They're not strong enough for this cold, the size of the oil heater that you can get here. I asked my electrician, is it okay to use it to increase the amps to divide the electric line around the house to have more wattage for using these oil heaters. And he just said, just use these kerosene heaters. And I just said, it's not a good image. Like, my parents probably wouldn't like it so much. My family wouldn't like it so much because it is dangerous. It does cause fires. And you see this around Japan. There are fires. It does smell bad. It is poisonous and it's not good for you. However, a lot of people are turning to these heat pumps and air conditioning units that do both heating and cooling, which is great because I'm actually about to do the same thing. And I've got my electrician up here today and he's installing that for me as we speak. One is already in on the bedroom on the top right side, and the one on the left side is just happening now. My place is lucky enough to have city gas, so I decided to go with city gas. It's kind of not necessarily cheaper, but it does, I have big gas heaters that are going to help me reduce the costs instead of using electric heating, which just drains from the power just drains to the electric, and electricity is pretty expensive in Japan. So a good thing about my gas heating is that it does actually vent outside. And you can see that vent there just underneath the window. That's where one of the gas heaters is located. And that's the same here for this vent. This is a gas heater vent. Gas is poisonous. It will, it's not good for your health if it's not ventilated. This is my water. I'm going to put this pipe in and also a piece of bamboo that sticks up so I can find this. If I have any water issues during the winter, I'll be able to come out here and find where the water source is. So it's as simple as that, and I'm going to have to do that for my sewage system as well. I've done as much insulation as I can in the new spaces that I've created, but the old part of the house doesn't have that insulation yet. I might be doing that in the next year or whatnot, but I'm not in a huge rush. I've just closed all of the window gaps as much as I could. I'm trying to close off any of the floor gaps and just try to keep it airtight. Japanese houses struggle with old houses don't have that much insulation, and even new houses are questionable in my opinion. They're not built out of concrete. So the concrete houses, concrete apartments, they're super good. The steel buildings still have a long way to go with what insulation they're using in some of these colder areas, but they're slowly catching up. Especially in the old houses, there's not much double glazing for the window. My house has a few of them, so this one we're looking at here does have double glazing. My other living space area around the side, it does have double glazing, so it helps a little bit, but my entryway is completely open. So where I walk into my house, every time I open it up, the cold air will come out. There's nothing to stop that. So I've tried to devise putting a curtain, at least for now, to just close the space a little bit and have some kind of cold relief area. And I'm going to try that out and see how that goes. I'm open to putting in another door next year or some kind of entry system, but for now, I'm not really having trouble with it. And that's a big part of it. I don't want to be over the top. I don't want to over-design this without spending a season in Japan, in this house in Japan. I think it's great in theory, but I am trying to save money, and I am trying not to use materials and things that I don't need. I think that part of that is like an environmental factor as well. Looks like we made it just in time. The snow has just kicked off today. Looks like we're gonna get 30 centimeters overnight, a meter of snow in the next couple of days. Yeah, winter. There it is, yes. That's cool. Right on time. My electrician is a legend. He's managed in 2 days to put in my air conditioning and heat pump. I'm happy that we're gonna be warm in the winter upstairs. Hot, not even warm, just hot. And now we're inside. So For the inside here, this is the entranceway, and this is where all the cold air kind of comes in from. So what I've done is I've put in this curtain down the hall for the hallway here, and that's just going to help with cutting off that, preventing that like cold air coming in through the door and traveling down the hallway just a little bit. And it makes a difference, surprisingly, just this curtain. And it doesn't look too bad. It kind of blends in with the color scheme here, just this beige with this woodwork. Yeah, I'm happy with what it's doing so far. Down the hallway that I've put in all of the shoji again. So I took them out for summer to have that better airflow. And how incredible does this hallway look, by the way? It is so pretty. And everyone that's come into my place, they've all just said the same thing. Whoa, your house is so cool, it's so Japanese. Yeah, so, and this photo, I love this image, not photo, painting. Really cool. So, when we go into the kitchen and dining area with the tatami floor, and yay, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas time. The thing that's keeping this whole room warm is just this. This is a massive gas heater. This is on gas, city gas. Yeah, and like I said, this has got a flume to take those fumes outside. So this is really safe to use inside the house. That's just a humidifier and dehumidifier down there. It's still a bit of a mess and it's not quite finished. Another thing you might have heard of in Japan or know about is kotatsu. And this is a kotatsu. This table heats up. So underneath this blanket, so this is a blanket you sit under and stay warm. There's a heating system. It's actually not really necessary because of that heater. And this room is really warm because of that. It's more of like, it just fits really well with the room, having this Japanese tatami and somewhere warm to sit. I mean, and then that doesn't look so Japanese over there, but too bad, that's how I like it. Yeah, it's really warm in this room, and it doesn't really need anything but that massive heater, which is a massive heater. Then for the bathroom, if the door is closed, it will get cold, and that's because of, especially in the shower room, the massive window there. So I flip it around. Yeah, so you can just see there that window is huge in the bathroom. So, how to keep this warm? I have a heater around the back of the door here. So it's a DeLonghi, pretty big heater, and I've just set that on a timer because it has like that capability to do that. And that'll come on in the morning for a couple of hours and at nighttime when I usually have a shower or use this space. I also have this curtain here on the back door. And there's just a small space in here where I'm just keeping like my cleaning products basically right now. Yeah, and that's, the cold does come off of that door. And this, like I said, it's surprising, but these curtains really, really block the temperature, that cold temperature coming through. We'll just head upstairs. It might be a bit of a mess here too. So I've just had aircon installed just in time for winter. The guy's just literally left right now. I used this last night for the first time and it is amazing. So if I just look at the window here, these just sit out the front here. It's actually better than the gas heaters. And those gas heaters are made for like big office spaces, hotel spaces, really large areas. This is for 10 tatami. One tatami is about 2 meters. It's about one, which is a little bit less, but just say it's about 2 meters squared. So it's around 20 meters squared space that these heat for. And within 2 minutes of turning this on, it is really warm in here. And it's just quieter than the gas heater. The air feels different to the gas heater. It just feels clean, regular air. And that's going outside, that's bringing in that outside fresh air. It has just as a good energy rating as a gas heater. And the cost is really, I haven't been able to compare the cost yet, But from my understanding, the cost will be similar, if not less, to use these air conditioning units over the gas heating. Yep, so this heats this room. And I have the same thing in the other bedroom, the same setup. And this is that second room with the other aircon unit, and it's really cool. Like, it's really nice. They have, so they do have on the remote the cold settings for cooling, and then they have the hot setting for heating. For the chill space, I have another one of those massive gas heaters. Again, that's just flumed outside, so it's got that safety element to it, where there's not poisonous gas in the house. Even though it probably wouldn't affect you too much, you are supposed to open those windows when you are using it. I think for this house, you probably don't need to open the windows so much, because there is like drafts of air coming through. Probably the last thing to mention is these shoji windows, the Japanese paper windows. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think so, but because of this box area, this space here between the windows, it creates that air gap. Surprisingly, this air gap makes a massive difference. And these rooms upstairs are actually, it feels like the best insulated rooms in the entire house. And of course, how can I forget this one, the warm Japanese toilet. Actually, I set up my bedroom downstairs, but I'm really tempted to flip my room around and actually come live upstairs now. With this air conditioning unit, it makes a massive difference. Like I said, the air quality feels better. I've got the gas downstairs and that heats downstairs. I have a gas heater in my bedroom as well. So yeah, it works really well. It feels good and it's really warm, but just something about like the quietness of the electricity, using the air conditioning unit, the whole experience just feels better. So that's a quick overview of how I'm preparing for winter. I'm not worried at all about being cold. I have everything I need to keep warm. And the great thing about Japan, if anything goes wrong, if I need something else, there's like a secondhand store not too far away, or there's Amazon and they deliver the next day. So nothing is too difficult to get your hands on. Thanks for watching and happy travels!